The law governing Waqf land is set to undergo a sea change. The centre has introduced the Unified Waqf Management, Empowerment, Efficiency and Development Act. This act will amend the Waqf Act of 1995. The proposed law has evoked strong reactions and polarizing opinions. So what are Waqf properties? What are the changes being introduced? And what are the concerns being raised? We'll try to answer some of these questions. Now, Waqf essentially means properties donated for charitable purposes. A person can donate a property as Waqf, which is irrevocable. The ownership of the property is then transferred, and this Waqf property is managed by 32 state Waqf boards. Now, speaking of Waqf boards, here are some interesting numbers. Total Waqf land pegged at 9.4 lakh acres, the total value at 1.2 lakh crores. This makes Waqf boards the third largest landowners after the armed forces and railways. Now, the last time we saw an amendment to the Waqf Act was in 2013. This amendment gave vast powers to Waqf boards and Waqf tribunals for declaring property as Waqf property. There was also a fair bit of criticism that fell on the Waqf boards. Allegations were leveled against them for use of these powers for land grabbing. There were also charges of inefficiencies and mismanagement by Waqf bureaucracy. Questions were also raised about the lack of representation of women and backward sects within Muslims. This new law proposed by the centre is seeking to introduce sweeping changes. The new law has omitted Section 40. Section 40 is the very provision that gives Waqf boards the power to decide whether a property is a Waqf property. The new law also says that any government property identified as Waqf property shall not be deemed to be a Waqf property. The law also introduced a new mechanism for deciding issues of qualifications of property as Waqf. Under this proposed legislation, the collector will be given the power to decide if the property in question belongs to the government or the Waqf. If the collector decides in favor of the government, the Waqf will be required to correct its own records. Currently, this power of classification rests with the Waqf boards. The new law also clarifies that a property cannot be donated as Waqf unless the person donating is the lawful owner of the property in question. The new law also makes changes to the composition of the Central Waqf Council and the Waqf Board. The new law directs for the boards to include 2 women, 2 non-Muslim members, and to give representation to backward sects within Muslims. The law has also done away with the provision that the CEO of the board will only be a Muslim. The sweeping changes have seen various political parties and Muslim organizations slamming the bill as an attempt by the centre to dispossess Muslims of their wealth. They also question the introduction of Collector Raj, with the collector being given the power to decide on classification of property. Others have also questioned why wider consultations were not done given the impact of this legislation.
Make informed decisions with comprehensive analysis on the go.
Strengthen your portfolio with real-time market updates on the go. Create effective strategies with insightful expert opinions on the go.
Grow on the go with CNBC-TV18, now streaming live 24/7 on YouTube.